Hi everyone, welcome back to another process video and thank you for joining me again today. Today I have one 4x6 photo that I want to use, so I am following this sketch by Page Maps and it is from their May 2018 files. I am going to use the Simple Stories Little Dude collection again with this, and I'm just going to basically use all scraps. I do have a few full sheets left, but for this one I just ended up wanting to use up some scraps, and I liked all the colors that the scraps were in. I had originally thought that I was going to use that side of that pattern paper with all the different toys on it, but then I remembered I had this scrap with the triangles, but it didn't match very well with the page with all the toys and everything on it. So I decided, I flipped it over, and luckily it was that awesome blue color, so I decided I would just go with the blue color. I really love that page with all the different toys and robots and things on it. I haven't actually used it yet as far as I can remember, but that blue is such an awesome blue that it doesn't really bother me not to use that other pattern paper. For this green piece, you can see that I have punched a notebook border punch along the edge. It did have a piece with a notebook border punch on the sketch, and I thought that that just went along with the boy theme even more. So I knew I also wanted to matte this photo in white so that it would help it stand out a little bit more. So I went ahead and I just added it to the 12 by 12 sheet that I'm going to use as my background, and I'm going to cut it out from the middle of that sheet, and that hole is going to be completely covered up in the end and you will never even know. I don't really worry too much about my layouts not being sturdy enough, because I figure once they're in the page protector, they're going to be just fine. And not only that, but there's going to be a layout on the other side of the page protector that it will help it hold up. I can't see a layout shrinking down into a page protector. I just don't see that happening. Here I made a little bit of a mistake. It doesn't really look like a mistake probably to you guys. I added a little bit too much ink to that green border, and one spot went a little too big, so then I had to add a whole bunch more of that ink to the border. And at this point I'm not really liking the way it looks, but when the layout is done you don't even notice, and it kind of looks like I did it on purpose, which I did some of it on purpose after I did it on accident, if that makes sense. So it does turn out okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and glue down all my pattern papers. The funny thing is that when I glued these down, I totally forgot that I had a big hole in my layout, and I didn't pay attention to where I added the blue or the adhesive to the back of that blue pattern paper. And so you will see here in a few minutes I'm going to get some things glued down, and then I'm going to try to move my layout, and it's currently stuck to the back of my cutting mat, but that's okay. It's easy fix. So I basically have all the pattern papers in the photo where I want them to go at this point, and then I dumped out my chipboard pieces. So I have since changed how I do my ephemera, how I keep it together, and I'm not sure if this video will go up before or after that video, but this is a good example of why I changed it, because here I have all these pieces of ephemera and I feel like I have to go through them again and again, and I was finding it to be tedious, and not really tedious, because I don't mind going through my ephemera pieces at all. It does help familiarize me with what I do have. I think with the way I'm going to change it, it will help just save time basically when doing the layout. I knew that I had this Boys Rule title, and I didn't really have anything else that I wanted to say about this picture. It was just a really cute picture of my son. To be honest, this might be the second time that I'm scrapbooking this photo. I don't care. I love this, and I'm not 100% sure, so I figured I would go ahead and do it. And when I saw the Boys Rule, and here again I'm going through my ephemera pieces and I have to go through each one, and it's just driving me nuts. So I'm hoping my new way will help a little bit with all of that. And like I said, I'm not sure which video will go up first, so that's all I will talk about that for now. I found that robot, and he went really well there. I was not sure I was going to find a good spot for him because he's so big that I didn't really know if I'd find a layout for it to put him on, but he turned out really cute there to the left of the photo. He filled in that spot really well, and so I went for it, and I love the way it looks. I'm just looking for all kinds of different pieces that say boy, or I mean, well, everything in this collection says boy, but a couple things I added just because it looked good, like the robot looked good. That little Rubik's Cube I'm adding to the layout, which will go a little bit over. It's just a piece of ephemera and the robot is chipboard. So I'm going to add some foam adhesive underneath that Rubik's Cube on one side and glue it to the robot's leg on the other side. And then down here, of course, the fidget spinner. If you guys have kids, I'm sure you've heard the fidget spinner. This picture was not a time of fidget spinners. This was a long time ago, way before they were even a thing. However, I just put it on there anyway because it went really well in that cluster, and it's something he used for a little while, was a fidget spinner. So it didn't bother me that it wasn't in the right time of year for that photo. And I added that little piece of ephemera to the bottom cluster, and I purposely put it halfway onto the layout so it would look like it was half off of the layout. And that is where I'm going to add my date at the very end, the date of this photo. And then I'm adding this cluster up here in the top left-hand corner. I really like this cluster. That frog piece I thought looked really cute tucked in underneath the background blue paper. So like I said, again, the frog really has nothing to do with this photo, but it does say boy, and that's all I really want with this layout. So I went ahead and added that up there. And here's where I'm gluing down that Rubik's Cube and just making sure it sits on top of the robot's leg. And I'm going to go ahead and glue down my title. The sketch called for a bunch of embellishments to go along underneath the photos, but when I put the title down there, I knew that I liked it just even better than embellishments along under there. And you can see that I'm not putting my title down straight at all. I'm trying to purposely do it kind of crooked in a way that looks like I didn't do it purposely, if that makes any sense. And I'm not bothered by the fact that it goes over the green halfway. With this layout, it took me literally less than a half hour to finish this layout because I just played with everything. I just sat down and I got everything out and I played and I had fun, and I didn't really care about any rules of thirds or anything like that. I just put things wherever I thought they looked good. So one thing I'm doing here with this stencil, and you've seen me use this stencil a few times. Well, the reason for me using this stencil was because on that white piece of paper, on the white cardstock background, kind of underneath the title, between the title and the cluster on the bottom right, there got some ink. So when I rubbed it, it of course looked even worse with more ink. And so I decided that I would go ahead and do some of this stenciling so that you couldn't tell that that ink mark that was there was done on accident. Now it's completely hidden. I found this star piece of ephemera, so I'm going to tuck that next to the robot. I felt like that really filled in that area. And then there was this really cute arrow, and I think this might be one of my favorite parts of this page, is this swirly arrow. I think it just turned out really cute. It fits so perfectly underneath that title. Now, the only other thing I'm thinking at this point is that maybe I want to add a third arrow, which I'm going to find a puffy sticker arrow, and I am going to put it down in the cluster on the right-hand side on the bottom of the page. And it doesn't really make that much of a triangle. I just like the way it looked, and I'm kind of just going through all the stickers now and seeing if there's anything I can add here or there either. I will apologize because there are no photos, close-up photos or still shot photos, anything at the end, because I was just trying to get a bunch of these videos up. I know that I have not had many videos up for a while, so I'm just trying to do a bunch of voiceovers to get everything up so that I have, or at least everything ready so that I can have videos up on my channel again. Getting more organized and getting back into the swing of things. So I did find puffy stickers. There was some heart puffy stickers left, and just a few of them, so I decided to go ahead and add one in each of those clusters also. So this is basically going to be the layout here, other than at the end, which is just in just a moment. I am going to add some ink splatters around, and you won't see the layout after I add the ink splatters. Again, like I said, I apologize for that, but another thing that I'm really excited about is these word phrase stickers. I you can tell I've really been using a lot of those up. That sticker sheet's really getting used up, and I love that. So I decided that I would go ahead and find some that really went with this picture of my son and put them. I'm going to put some in each cluster. I covered up the star here down in this bottom cluster, but I didn't really care because I liked the way that the word phrases looked better. So I am going to ink the edges of all those. I really like the way those white word phrase stickers look with black inked edges. I think it just turns out really well. So now I have some in the bottom cluster, in the middle cluster, and so I'm going to add one up to the top cluster as well, just to kind of give it that third one up there. So that right there is basically what the layout looks like, other than a few ink splatters, which again will just help cover up that inky spot that I got on the layout. I'm just splattering a little bit around, and that is my layout. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I gotta go now and do more videos for you guys. All right, everyone, have a great day, and thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.